today we're continuing the day 2 of Advance of Code 2021. I just continue from the point that I finish day 1, the second part, and now we can go here and simply see the questions for day 2. Again, as previously, I'm going to use ChatGPT. Let me go here, probably I should delete this, it's not interesting. Was prompting with ChatGPT, meanwhile some other stuff. And yeah, in day 2, now we need to figure it out how to power this thing. It seems like the submarine can take series of commands like forward 1, down and up. Okay, we have a language which is to telling on the submarine where to go down, up and so on, and probably it's saying forward, increase the horizontal position by X units. Okay, it's saying not only in which direction to go, but how much to move. And down is going down, up decreasing, and does it have backwards? No, we have down, up and forward, couldn't go backwards. Okay, let's go back to our terminal and project that we have so far, and not simply day 2 part 1. As of our previous day, we have a main file, we have test input, we have a prompt file. Let's simply copy all of them on some previous day, doesn't matter which one, we'll make them empty. We have a main file, that's what we did the previous day. However, we'll do the whole thing from scratch, at least at the beginning. We have some prompt, copy our prompt, paste. Let me keep that for a moment and probably add input text file. Okay, well, the structure is simply we have the test file that we'll be reading for testing our program. The input is specific for my login in Advance of Code, and main it's our Go program. We'll have here package main, and the prompt is actually what we are going to ask ChatGPT and eventually Bing whenever ChatGPT couldn't help us, or we want to find more information for a specific part of the problem. And we're trying to do that as having questions, instruction, and waiting for the answer. The instruction are, please write me a Go program that solves this. Here is the question and the eventual answer, and we, as I show in the first part, if you haven't watched the video, for each day, the second part, we're using also the input from the previous day as an example, including the working answer, because as you might saw already, the answer which ChatGPT gave us required a little bit work. But let's make the prompt for today, our day 2. Okay, we have this. Is it too long? No, I think we can go full on it. We don't need this part now. You need to figure out how to plot this thing. It doesn't bring any information. Okay, that's the problem. In our case, here we have some test input, which we'll put in our test file. Here we have some analysis of the problem and so on. We'll give it to ChatGPT, and we have some final expectation, which are what would we expect with this given input to get as an output. After following this instruction, you would have a horizontal position of 15 and depth of 10, and we need to multiply our horizontal and depth position and return that as a result from our program. Calculate the horizontal position and the depth you would have after following planned course. What do you get if you multiply your final horizontal position by your final depth? And here it's my specific input. Of course, if you do, I will have that in my GitHub repository, because I think every single user has their different input and it gets different answer. Okay, we have our question, we have our instruction, which are same, and let's see how ChatGPT will do with that without anything more than that. Sure, there is a Go program. Okay, very nice. Parse distance. Okay, let me see. This is the program so far. We are getting splitted and so on. Very interesting. We have the commands. We have after that the change in the distance, up, down. We have the horizontal, plus, plus, minus. Looks perfectly fine. We have horizontal, depth, and we have the product of all of them. We don't need actually this part, we need only that, but for debugging purposes you might keep that. Okay, let me add that's a prompt 1. Why would I add a prompt 2 is because in our case we want to have our program from a file and to have a part which is prompt 1, which is prompt 2, which reads the input from the file and split it one by one and creates the command one here. Okay, let's ask us, could you read the input from a file path equal to, in our case that's day2 part 1 slash input but text. That's our instruction. Our questions. Instructions. Instruction on and read line by line. Okay, let me try to do that part of the coding like that. I would assume that we might need to actually do third prompt, that it's including the first prompt, the answered program, and after that this adjustment, so to say. But let's see if we'll be able to do that without more requests. It's still keeping forward, downwards, it's going the range, it's splitting it by lines, it's creating the lines, and where are the comments? Actually the comments are lines, and keeping everything else. Okay, we didn't need, I was expecting that I would need to give the previous program, but it doesn't seem like so. Distance scan and remove this method. Let's test that. 150, which is the correct one. Again, I'm deleting this part because it's simply too much. Have no interest in this stuff and no interested to debug anymore. Okay, let's try it with the input. Okay, we're getting this big number. Let's verify that that's the actual solution. Okay, that was our solutions for day 2 part 1. Thank you for your time, and we'll see each other in the next video with part 2 for day 2.